What do we want? Spuds. When do we want them? Now. But unfortunately, these are second early crops. Kestrel, a second early potato. So we're going to have to wait about 14 weeks once they're planted to get the results, the full fruition of those potatoes. Now look at this. This is a 5 foot by 5 foot bed, or just over 5 foot long. I think it's 5.5 feet that way and 5 feet that way. That one's shorter. That's 4 feet by 5 feet. Having said that though, the cracking potato beds. Last year and the year before we grew potatoes in these. We grew new potatoes in these actually. But I'm growing all my new potatoes in buckets this year. Or the vast majority of them. But we've got these Kestrel. These Kestrel are a second early, as I've just mentioned. 12 to 15 inches apart. We want to be planting these. A great looking and tasting potato suitable for boiling, baking, roasting chips and mashing. A good all-rounder, that, isn't it? So let's get them in. I think we'll get plenty in here. Okay, so all I've done is I've dug myself a little furrow that's about 6 inches deep. It was actually about 8 inches deep, but I've backfilled it a little bit with some of the loose soil, and there's a reason for that. There's a method in the madness. What I'm going to do to that loose, roughened soil is I'm going to add my feed in there. The feed is bloodfish and bone. Bloodfish and bone meal, which we're going to put all around like a full scoop for the row. Because I'm planning on planting 6 seed potatoes. If you look at them, there are the chits on top. The roots will come out from the base of where the chits are, and the stems will come up from the chit. Okay, so that's in there, but we don't want to burn the little bottoms, so what we'll do is we'll mix it all in, so that when the seeded potato is in the ground, it'll be surrounded by the nutrition, the blood, the fish and the bone, which is a good balance of NPK, nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, which is all they'll need. Spuds happen, boys and girls. They don't need a great deal of babysitting. If you put too much nitrogen in, you just get a lot of top growth. Ask Tony O'Neill from Simplify Gardening about that, and he's right. So there's a couple of inches there that we can press these into. Press them into that nutrified mix as we go along. Sorry about the plane. The plane, boss, the plane. The aircraft in the sky. So making sure that the chits are pointing up. You've got to be careful when you're planting these in, because the chits you don't want to break. You do not want to break the chits. Okay. I might adjust those a little bit. Get them a little bit closer. Not an exact science, guys, but you want them relatively evenly spaced out, these. At around about 12 inches apart. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is just cover them over with the disturbed soil that I created the furrow with. And then that's it. Leave them to it. Yeah? All there in their furrows, waiting to be put to bed. Okay, they're all in. Now there are 30 Kestrel second early potatoes in that bed. All in the little furrows. I've topped it off as well, so it's 6 inches down, and I've topped it off as well with another couple of inches of compost, 75 litres there, I put on the top. So they should be fine and dandy in there. Now when the horns come through off the potatoes, they could come up anywhere, really. So I don't tend to earth up until I see where the horns are coming through. And I might not even earth up then. I might just leave it at that. But that would take probably another 60 litres to top it up to the very brim all the way around. But as I say, I might not even do that, you know. I might just leave it. There'll be plenty of spuds in there. Now if we put 30 in, we'll probably tend to get about 15 from each one of the same size. So what we'll probably get is around about, hopefully, 1 kilogram per seed potato. So 30 kilograms ish, or just under. Probably about 50 pounds in weight, actually, I think we got last year out of that bed. 50 pounds in weight of potatoes. Okay. Now if you think a pound of those potatoes, those organic potatoes, will probably cost about £1 sterling in money. Then hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get 50 quid's worth of food out of that bed, which has cost me about, well, this year about £10, but over the years probably about 50 quid over the last 5 years. So it's a 5 times return. You only need to top them up a little bit. I mean, the compost, we generate quite a bit of compost on site, and you can use mole hills and things like that. So we put, that was about £5, I think, for that bag when I bought it, the 75 litre bag. That's £5 sterling, and then there's about £1.50's worth of bloodfish and bone gone into it, bloodfish and bone meal, and also there's about £2.50, I think they were, for the seed potatoes. So if you call it £10, that's what it's cost, £10 ish, to top off that bed, and we should get around £50 in weight of potatoes out of it. If we get half that, we've doubled our money. Alright, keep growing with your heads down, boys and girls, and I'll catch you next time. You've been fabulous. I've been Guru Maffinder, aka Tony. And remember, look after yourselves and each other. Alright, take care. Have a good week.